Greetings, citizens of the world. Assistant Director of the FBI Counterintelligence Division Bill Priestap has turned on former Director James Comey, confirming that he is indeed a traitor to America. According to House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence member Chris Stewart, Bill Priestap is fully cooperating with Trump's Justice Department, ratting on his former deep state colleagues at the Bureau, and exposing how they attempted to interfere in the 2016 presidential election on behalf of Obama, Clinton. Listen carefully. Around 2:30, Judge Jeanine hits the bullseye, and listen to how Chris Stewart talks about not wanting to make news and is unsure what he can say on this. Bill Priestap is cooperating. When you understand how central Bill Priestap was to the entire 2016-2017 Russian conspiracy operation, the absence of his name, amid all others, created a curiosity. I wrote a Twitter thread about him last year and wrote about him extensively, because it seemed unfathomable his name has not been a part of any of the recent storylines. Bill Priestap is the head of the FBI counterintelligence operation. He was FBI agent Peter Strzok's direct boss. If anyone in Congress really wanted to know if the FBI paid for the Christopher Steele dossier, Bill Priestap is the guy who would know everything about everything. FBIist. Director in charge of counterintelligence Bill Priestap was the immediate supervisor of FBI counterintelligence Deputy Peter Strzok. Bill Priestap is number 1. Before getting demoted, Peter Strzok was number 2. The investigation into candidate Donald Trump was a counterintelligence operation. That operation began in July 2016. Bill Priestap would have been in charge of that, along with all other FBI counterintelligence operations. FBI Deputy Peter Strzok was specifically in charge of the Trump counterintel op. However, Strzok would be reporting to Bill Priestap on every detail and couldn't, according to structure anyway, make a move without Priestap approval. On March 20, 2017 congressional testimony, James Comey was asked why the FBI director did not inform congressional oversight about the counterintelligence operation that began in July 2016. FBI Director Comey said he did not tell congressional oversight he was investigating presidential candidate Donald Trump because the director of counterintelligence suggested he not do so. Very important detail. I cannot emphasize this enough. Very important detail. Again, notice how Comey doesn't use Priestap's actual name, but refers to his position and title. Again. FBI Director James Comey was caught entirely off guard by the first 3 minutes of that questioning. He simply didn't anticipate it. Oversight protocol requires the FBI director to tell the Congressional Intelligence Gang of 8 of any counterintelligence operations. The GO8 has oversight into these ops at the highest level of classification. In July 2016, the time the operation began, oversight was the responsibility of this group, the Gang of 8. Obviously, based on what we have learned since March 2017, and what has surfaced recently, we can all see why the FBI would want to keep it hidden that they were running a counterintelligence operation against a presidential candidate. After all, as FBI agent Peter Strzok said it in his text messages, it was an insurance policy. Reminder, FBI agent Strzok to FBI attorney page. So there we have FBI Director James Comey telling Congress on March 20, 2017, that the reason he didn't inform the statutory oversight Gang of 8 was because Bill Priestap, Director of Counterintelligence, recommended he didn't do it. Apparently, according to Comey, Bill Priestap carries a great deal of influence if he could get his boss to not perform a statutory obligation simply by recommending he doesn't do it. Then again, Comey's blame casting there is really called creating a fall guy. FBI Director James Comey was ducking responsibility in March 2017 by blaming FBI Director of Counterintelligence Bill Priestap for not informing Congress of the operation that began in July 2016, 9 months prior. At that moment, that very specific moment during that March 20 hearing, Anyone who watches these hearings closely could see FBI Director James Comey was attempting to create his own exit from being ensnared in the consequences from the wiretapping and surveillance operation of candidate Trump, President-elect Trump, and eventually President Donald Trump. In essence, Bill Priestap was James Comey's fall guy. We knew it at the time that Bill Priestap would likely see this the same way. The guy would have too much to lose by allowing James Comey to set him up. Immediately there was motive for Bill Priestap to flip and become the primary source to reveal the hidden machinations. Why should he take the fall for the operation when there were multiple people around the upper levels of leadership who carried out the operation? Our suspicions were continually confirmed because there was no mention of Bill Priestap in any future revelations of the scheme team, despite his centrality to all of it. Bill Priestap would have needed to authorize Peter Strzok to engage with Christopher Steele over the Russian dossier. Bill Priestap would have needed to approve of the underlying investigative process used for both FISA applications, June 2016, and October 21, 2016. Bill Priestap would be the person to approve of arranging, paying, or reimbursing Christopher Steele for the Russian dossier used in their counterintelligence operation and subsequent FISA application. Without Bill Priestap involved, approvals, etc., the entire Russian-Trump counterintelligence operation just doesn't happen. Heck, James Comey's own March 20 testimony in that regard is concrete evidence of Priestap's importance. Everyone around Bill Priestap, above and below, were caught inside the investigative net. Above him, James Comey, Andrew McCabe and James Baker. Below him, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Jim Rybicki, Tricia Beth Henderson, and Mike Carlton. Parallel to Priestap and Maine Justice his peer John P. Carlin resigned, Sally Yates fired, Mary McCord quit, Bruce Orr was busted twice, and most recently Dave Loffman resigned. All of them caught in the investigative net. Only Bill Priestap remained, quietly invisible, still in position. The reason was obvious. Likely Bill Priestap made the decision after James Comey's testimony on March 20, 2017, when he realized what was coming. Priestap is well off financially, he has too much to lose. He and his wife, Sabina Menzel, live a comfortable life in a $3.8 million DC home. She comes from a family of money. While ideologically Bill and Sabina are aligned with Clinton support, and their circle of family and friends likely lean toward more liberal friends, no one in his position would willingly allow themselves to be the scapegoat for the unlawful action that was happening around them. Bill Priestap had too much to lose. And for what? With all of that in mind, there is essentially no way the participating members inside the small group can escape their accountability with Mr. Bill Priestap cooperating with the investigative authorities. Now it all makes sense. Devin Nunes interviewed Bill Priestap and Jim Rybicki prior to putting the memo process into place. Rybicki quit, Priestap went back to work. Bill Priestap remains the FBI director in charge of counterintelligence operations. It's over. I don't want to see this guy, or his family, compromised. This is probably the last I am ever going to write about him unless it's in the media bloodstream. I can't fathom the gauntlet of hatred and threats he is likely to face from the media and his former political social network if they recognize what's going on. BP is Deep Throat X Infinity. Neuf said. The rest of this entire enterprise is just joyfully dragging out the timing of the investigative releases in order to inflict maximum political pain upon the party of those who will attempt to excuse the inexcusable. Then comes the Oleg Horowitz report. Then the grand jury impaneled, if not already, and while Democrats attempt to win seats in the 2018 election, arrests and indictments will hit daily headlines. Oh, Lordy.